Okay, this is Orlando Wilson, and in this video I want to answer a question somebody asked me about what's the signs that a security company is a good company to work for, or what's the red flags that they're not a good company to work for. Well, my response to that question, my main response is, are they paying you on time? Are you getting paid? If you're getting paid on time, that's a bonus. Are they supplying you with the equipment you need to do the job? Or if you're freelance, you bring your own equipment, etc. But is that company doing as much as they possibly can to ensure you're working in a safe environment, they're supporting you, and they're paying you? If they are, all right, no worries. That's in the freelance world, that's 3 major bonuses. Okay, now going back to basics, before you go and work for a company, you should do due diligence on them, which means check out the company and see what their past record is. When you go to security companies, when you go for any job interview, etc., I've heard so much BS over the years, it's unreal. People will promise you the world. They'll promise you qualifications, this, that, etc., etc., etc. But if you've worked in the security industry, especially if you worked in the security industry, close protection industry, you can understand it can be a little bit shady. And a lot of the promises people make you, the only reason they're making you those promises is they need bodies. They want you to work, and they want to get as much out of you as possible for little pay as possible. So this is where you have to look at what you've been offered and take it all with a pinch of salt. So baseline level, are you going to get paid? Are you willing to do what they want you to do for the paycheck? Also, you need to look into if you're working in an area, and I say this because I was in South Florida for 18 years. I had security agencies there. I had a investigation agency there. Now, in the state of Florida, security agencies have to be insured. And if in Florida, you cannot freelance. You have to work for an agency. Yeah, you have to be on that agency's books, etc. If that agency you're working for loses their license, or their license is suspended because they don't have insurance or any other problem, then in theory, all the guards working for them are working for an unlicensed agency, which means they're working illegally. So this is where you have to be very careful in areas where the business is licensed, or you have to work for a licensed agency, that the agency you're working for, the person that's giving you the work, actually has the proper licensing documentation and the proper insurance. If they're not properly licensed, if they're not properly insured, and you're working for these people, even though you believe you could be working 100% legal, you could have your own license, your own firearms license, but the fact you don't have that company above you, could mean you're working illegally. Now, how it works with divisional licensing in most places, if you tell them the story and present the evidence that you thought you were working for a properly licensed agency, they might just give you a slap on the wrist. If they don't like the company, if they don't like you, you're going to get hammered. And I think working without a license or working for an unlicensed agency in the state of Florida, and I could be wrong on this, if you're caught, I think you're going to end up getting arrested, and you're going to have problems with the licenses in the future. I could be wrong. I've known companies in Florida where their licenses were suspended and they carried on operating as normal, and divisional licensing gave them a pass. I take it they knew people at divisional licensing. That's how it works, right? But if I always tell people, make sure, and this is from a company owner as well, always make sure there's no issues with your licenses. There's nothing that's popped up that you've missed or you haven't paid or something. So from an employee perspective, ensure the company you're working for is properly licensed and insured. From a company owner's perspective, regularly check to make sure all your licenses are up to date, your insurance is being paid. There's nothing that you can be caught out with. People might give you a pass if you're caught out, or they might hammer you. It's not worth it. Do your job properly, ensure everything's up to date. I don't like it when people give me a pass on things, because then a lot of people think I owe them favors. I don't owe anybody favors. So the other thing with people when they go to work for a company, you know what? You can go into all situations. all jobs, all details, and look at the job and say, well, they're not doing this right, they're not doing that right, I could do this better, etc., etc. A lot of companies take offense to that. Why? Because it's their contract. I remember one guy in London, I recommended somebody to him, and I asked him, it all went well. He said, no, the guy's a pain in the ass. He told me this, he told me that, he told me whatever. He said, it's my job. Yeah, it was his job, but he's running it like a sack of shit. And the person I put onto him was a little bit sharp. Most of the people I deal with, and they're not afraid to open their mouth when they see things wrong. The trouble is with that, a lot of companies don't like it because you're making them look bad. So this is where you have to be careful with, I say careful. Somebody said to me years ago, when you're working for other people, you turn up, you do your job, you go home. Do not get involved in the politics. It's a job. The people there are not your friends. The company is not your friends. They'll kiss your ass because they want you to work, but don't get involved in the politics. It's business. I know of one company I worked for in London for a long time, well, 6-7 years, I think. I sorted out quite a few issues for them over the years, event stuff, some CP stuff, etc. And with the event stuff, quite a few venues, and there's some very nice venues in London. They sent people along, caused problems. I know one guy in a five-star hotel ended up putting some old guy, some 67-year-old guy in his ass, knocked him down, pinned him to the floor in the lobby of a five-star hotel over some petty argument. I got the call afterwards, can you go in and make things nice, make people happy, do the job properly? And I done quite a few things for them like that. And when I left London, I asked them for a reference, and they wouldn't give me a reference. They gave me a one-line reference saying, we confirm that Mr. Wilson worked for us for how many years on a freelance basis. Thank you very much. But again, there was always, how can we put it, companies will use you. You're using them. I'm going to do another video about this in the future. They're using you because they need bodies. You're using them because you need money. If you're going into work for a company, be it private security, be it close protection, if you're going into private security, you want to be looking to work your way up the ladder as quickly as possible. If you're working for a small company, you're never going to get up the ladder because there's no ladder to climb. This is where if you want to be a corporate security manager, etc., you need to get into the big security companies. The little security companies, the boutique companies, you're not going to get up the ladder. You can make money. If you're going to work for a security company, be it close protection or man guarding, whatever, you want to think it's not your career. You can make money from there, but your career goal, if you're serious about this business, is to set up your own company, own agency, and get your own clients. As I said in other videos, you're not going to make money working from other people. And again, the guys and girls that work for me, occasionally when I get work these days, when I take on clients, it's like I tell them, okay, this is it. You know what I mean? You want to work for me for however long, this is the job, etc., etc. How can I put it? Be loyal to me when you're working for me, but I'm not going to be your golden egg. You need to go and find it somewhere else. Yeah, and if you get a better job offer while you're working for me, give me some notice and thank you very much. I understand you need to go and make money somewhere else. That's it. But that's how the business works. So I hope that what I've said here can make a little bit of sense to a few of you. In the meantime, follow me along on social media. I've got an array of books up on Amazon that talks about various aspects of the close protection, investigation, kidnap and ransom, close protection business, etc., etc. And follow us along on social media because there's a lot of videos up now, and there's going to be more videos going up in the future. If you connect with me on social media, you got any comments, any questions, feel free to reach out. When I have time, I will reach back to you. But in the meantime, remember, it's the security, close protection business is business. You're there to get paid. That's it. Stay away from the BS, stay away from the politics, go to work, do your job, go home, make your money, and plan what you're going to do for the future.